Disney has ended each fairy tale with a happy ending, a happy ever after ending that I grew up watching, and I guess I blame them for installing I have to have a happily ever after. But what does that mean in dating in 2024? Well, I have to assume we would have to start from the beginning. In the 19th century, marriage and families were the base of many businesses. Well, what does this mean? Uh, Marriage was seen to encourage social serving, the stability, and moral behavior, and allowed secure transfer of property within family. It had a strong religious meaning, a joining of two people by God for life. So, uh, mainly, it was helpful or an encouragement to get married for it to be affordable for living purposes. And I see that currently happening as well. So this is not something new, but it was happening in the 19th century. Young girls were considered from 16 to 18 women and needed to enter society. From an article by Anne Haddad in February 2018, the article states from the book or article Romance and Sweet Dreams, Mid 19th Century Courtship Before Courtship Under Mom's Watchful Eyes. Time for a young woman to enter marriageable women was determined by her parents. It depends on her age, but not on her level of maturity. A woman was expected to have completed her education or finished typically between ages 16 through 18 before entering society. So I know, wait, hold up, 16, that's a minor. Yeah, they was doing things like that. For African Americans, how was courting in the 19th century? There was an issue following the Civil War. An issue in the years following the Civil War in the former Confederate States of America were the marriage of former slaves, unions that whites did not want the law to make legitimate. Many local jurisdictions throughout the South demanded high fees to discourage ex slaves from marriage or simply refused to give them access to courts or licenses. I wrote down a script. I wrote down the things I need to write down, but at the same time, I'm doing it, damn it. Slaves were ruled by their masters, while whites were ruled by their parents. Younger people were not allowed to go by themselves without a guardian. Further down the timeline, between 1950s and 1970s, an article in Essence, Black Love Through the Ages, in February 2017, The Beginning of Black Love, 1800, Jumping the Broom. What does this mean? Sweeping away the old and welcoming the new, the joining of two families and showing respect to ancestors. How did dating change during the 1970s? Dating had been strictly regulated, and most people saw a woman's sole purpose in life was being a good homemaker and to raise children. But that changed, of course. Well, at least somewhat. In the US, new laws were introduced which became a game changer. Dating now is like taking crack, except the crack ghosts you. So, how long have you and Uncle Kevin been together for?
We met on a blind date in July 77, but we talked, went out a few times, but we rekindled in about 86. Yeah, 1986. And we've been together ever since. That's the question.
What makes your relationship strong and how does it work for you?
I believe what makes me and Kevin's relationship work is that open communication. Um, Communication, the fact that we have a child that we love, 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 and the dependency of that child on us and our goal to for her achievements, for her to meet her achievements, uh, and giving her the best foundation that we can for her to start her life when we're no longer around. Um, Communication is open to everything. Communication is the key to any relationship. Communication is what makes it. We make sure we let each other know how we feel. We have strong arguments, but anybody tell you that they're in a marriage or in a long-term relationship and you don't argue, then that relationship is not long or has not been, stand the length of time. The end for that question. Our dating scene. Yes, at the beginning of our dating scene, it wasn't no come and sit up in my house. You want to date me. You told me you liked me. You asked me. We met on a blind date. You took me out on that blind date. And then from then on, you think you're going to come to my house, sit in my house, and that's how we're going to date? No. We're going to go out and do things. That's what a date is for me. I don't need you to come to my house and sit in my house. Simple as that.
So, what made you realize that Uncle Kevin was the one?
We had a lot of the same goals and um, we thought alike about, things in life. And we were cool together. We were friends. We became friends and all together.
Y'all started off as friends first.
No, it was a blind date. Yeah, we started off as friends, but it was a blind date in August of 1977. No, I'm sorry, in July of 1977. Me, him, Bean, and Randy.
How long were you in a relationship before you got married?
About 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Um, yeah, maybe about 4 years. And within that 4 years, we also lived together, and we broke up in the middle of that 4 years, but we, for a short period of time, he got his apartment in Michelangelo, and I moved with him there. Well, I didn't move right away, and I remember living with him, and my father said to me, "But know this." My father said a saying to me, something about, why buy the cow if you already got the milk? So, in meaning, so that's what made me go to think, well, my father's a man, and he's telling me, okay, you're gonna go live with this man. Why would he have to marry you if you're doing all of the wifely duties? So it said, my father said, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? That's what my father said to me. I said, and I understood what he was saying to me. My father also used to tell me, a man like a woman that's worked, that's industrious, that, fend for herself. But he didn't have to tell me that because my mother always told me, God bless the child that have his own. So I had a strong father. I had a father that took care of his family. He had kids and he took care of his family. He provided a home and food on the table and everything. When I met Kev was a man with responsibilities. Um, when I met Kev, he had a car. And then the car disappeared. I didn't ask him any questions. And he came from a two-family home. His mother and father were present in his life growing up. And, both my parents, I was fortunate to have both my parents, and, growing up at home and stuff. So we dated 4 years, and we learned a lot about each other. We were comfortable with each other. When the only way I know how to love is I give, you know, you give you all. When that's hurt, you can't love that way anymore. And so trust has a lot to do with it also. How you can come back, because in relationships you go through trial and tribulations. And it's important to know how you stay. If you can still be together through all the trial and tribulation, and there's all kinds of trials and tribulations, you know, in a relationship and in life. Does not necessarily have to be the relationship. It's trial and tribulation of life. Um, how are we gonna pay this rent? This bill has to be paid. It's a lot of time, and it's all about how you get together, and how you stand together in that. So I said, gee, we down for each other. I got his back, he got mine. It's always been that way.
I think that's great.
But it's been a ride. We've been married now. It'll be 32 years, August 16th. And it's been a ride. And it was me and Kevin. Once we were married, it was me and Kevin for 7 years. And then our little one came along. But, we done partied and traveled and did this. So we were ready to settle down and be parents. That's my phone. Could you bring it here? And we were ready to settle down. But for any relationship, whether it's going to be marriage involved or not, to any significant other that you have, I would suggest keep up in communication is the best. If you can communicate with each other, any problem spoken about is already the solution is already solved because you have open communication. Two heads are better than one. You know, that's what I can say.
Thank you. Beyonce's internet is wild, honey. Yeah. So, What do you think of current dating in 2024?
What I think about current dating of 2024 is that a lot of the times it's harder to date, and then on top of that, it's just like I feel like as guys, we're competing to get a shorty who basically, I don't know, like basically wants a lot of stuff out of life, but she ain't got it for herself yet, or basically learning how to be a stepdad and everything. I just feel like dating is really only for the women's standard and not for the dude standard.
Do you know what the difference is of polygamy and polyamory?
Nah.
Do you would you ever feel comfortable being in a relationship with more than one man and you're dating one female?
Fuck no. I'm too spiritual. Not. I'm spiritually immature, but to the people that can do that, kudos to them. Because honestly, I couldn't. I couldn't be spiritually mature about that. It's like having another person with my person. I'm selfish.
Do you think it's easier for women to date or harder on men to date?
I think it's harder on women to date because if we don't have like a certain status or a certain height or basically like we don't have like cause we don't have like all the requirements that you look for. It's just basically we're not your preference, and then it's like on top of that, it's just like we have to provide. Like the only time we're actually love is when we're providing, and sometimes it's just like it's sad because if I have to make sure to give you money for everything and shit like that, it's crazy to me how as like no man is really loved for him. It's just what he got and what he's worth. Which is crazy. My opinion on being single is basically is really not that bad. It's just taking the time to work on yourself and get to know yourself and basically figure out what makes you happy. Because if you figure out what makes you happy, figure out what, about loving yourself, you can love other people. And if you don't love yourself, then how can you love other people?
That's true. RuPaul said something like that too.
Ready?
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm Ishmael Gaynor, stand-up comedian in Harlem. I run a show called Brown Sugar Comedy Show, and I'm here to talk about dating. I'm here to talk about dating. What was the first question again? Yeah. Dating in 2024, I feel like is difficult, mostly because, like, of course, the impression of social media. I feel like people, uh, I feel like instead of people listening to themselves and their genuine wants and needs, they're more so swayed to like how the internet is. They want to be able to win the gram and not win the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they don't look at it like, oh man, I want to be happy with my person. They like, nah, I want to flex on the gram. I want to be in Turks and Caicos or whatever, and not really getting more genuine with the person. So I feel like that's like probably I feel like that's one of the big struggles of social media. Well, of dating in 2024. But it's just so many sensitive people out here now too as well. Like 2020. It's just like, man, we just so you know just everything. Just gotta people be like, respect my pronouns, and which is not a problem. That's not a problem. I ain't trying to be canceled. I ain't trying to be canceled. I'm just saying, like, it's just so much going on where it's just like before it was just simple. Like you saw a woman, you try to talk to you talk to her, you have to talk to her family. Y'all go to a movies a few times, you have sex, y'all have a family, cool, boom, y'all off to the races. Y'all decide if y'all want to live together or however it goes. Now it's just like I feel like a whole production just to kind of like get into a whole just a place to be able to be in a relationship. I feel nowadays. I feel like that can be overwhelming now, like for people. So like, yeah, it's a little difficult. But for people who are in relationships, man, like kudos to you. You ain't got to be out here in these streets.
So the next question is, do you think one gender has it easier than the other for dating?
Ooh, I it depends. Like I don't think up top. I think it's easier for women because like everything, like, you don't have to go out and seek to find the person to find you. Like, and you can definitely, there's ways you can be able to do that. You can do that if you choose to, but you kind of could just be pretty and just be at a bar and then a dude would just walk up like, hey, how you doing? I mean, I've heard women say nowadays dudes don't do that, but like I just feel like when I would see a girl at a bar, like I would talk to her and get her information, and then from there we go on and do whatever we're gonna do. But like I feel like women up top have it much easier because y'all control like whether you're gonna have sex, what establish how the relationship's gonna go, whether or not you even gonna accept his phone call or his text message or anything like that. And as a dude though, once the relationship starts, like once you actually get into the relationship, I think the dude has much easier, much way easier because like once you kind of like accept that y'all gonna be like in a relationship, regardless of whatever the rules and parameters is, uh you kind of just gotta kind of like just keep doing stuff with them. Like you just kind of gotta be shared in the same space and be genuine. If you genuine, I feel like more so if you genuine and you are persistent with the person you're trying to be with, it's pretty much not that difficult from there. Like now, some motherfuckers are just crazy nowadays. So like it is what it is. You just somebody be like, you gotta buy me a Birkin bag, bitch. I work at Walmart, bitch. I can't buy you shit. Like I could buy you this 4 for $4 from Wendy's. That's what I could do. But yeah, I feel like that's basically it. I feel like that's probably the most difficult part. Is women have it so easy up top, and then like it's harder for them when they're in a relationship because like just the option of the dude being cheating or anything like that, or like you're betraying that vulnerability from women can be difficult, and it also is difficult for the dude because once you committed to a woman, or committed to another man. I don't want to be canceled once again. You Once you're in a relationship, more people, like I feel like more single people want to be attracted to you because you're in a relationship. So they're like, "Oh, you in a relationship? Like I'm trying to." It's weird. Like when I was single, it was just like every time I'd be like, "Oh, I talk to a girl like It's I don't know if it's the scent of desperation. It's like the scent of thirst. This nigga just like this nigga trying to talk to me. Oh, nah, I'm good. I'm good. But as soon as I got in a relationship, I just be talking to a woman and she's like, you cool. Like, you want to come back to my place? I'm like, bitch, where was you 6 months ago? Where was you when I was on the dry spell, bro? Now I'm full empty. Just, anyway.
So, what do you think about being single?
Oof. For me, I feel like single is like it can be challenging because like your whole life. I can't speak for everybody else, but like my parents were married for 25 years, so they were together. So you think in your mind like as an adult, like you're supposed to be with somebody, you're supposed to like have somebody to go do stuff with and do things with. And if you're in your 30s and you're single, or your 40s, or however old you are, sitting in your crib listening to this, if you're single, it's kind of a little difficult because you got to learn how to be happy single. I feel like it's 90% of the problem, and like that can fluctuate because you could be happy one day, and then you'll just walk by, see a couple like kissing, and you be like, damn, nigga, like I ain't trying to be like, or you see like an old person who be single and it should be sad as hell. They just be mad at the world, like that dude that ran away, or that woman that ran away, and they just be. I don't know if you ever spoken to an old single person before. It's the saddest thing in the world. Anyway, they just be rambling. They just be rambling about like, oh man, like she got away and she took everything, and just be like, all right, bro, whatever. But yeah, no, I just feel like single is it can be difficult, especially if you're not used to being doing shit by yourself. But it can also be fun because like nowadays, especially, uh, you know, people are more willing to have like one night stands. I feel like now more than ever. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like you can just pull up into a club and see somebody you like, have a strike up a conversation. You can be having sex that night. You know, before it felt like when you were single, you just that just wasn't. Not that saying that didn't happen. It just wasn't as like it would happen like every once in a while. Like it'd be like, oh man, like in a year you'd probably clap like maybe 5 different people. But like now I feel like you can go to a club and climb like one girl on Tuesday. You can go back to the same exact club on Wednesday if you choose to and do the same thing, but it's still I feel like the point of you being single, especially if you haven't found somebody, is to kind of like fulfill and try to make yourself happy to be able to complete yourself in that regard. So then when you do get into a relationship and you ain't like some crazy like single person, like he's still with the trauma of being single, like and all that. So yeah, I feel like that is that. Because then you can cut what parts that you don't like and keep what you do. But that's crazy. Hypergamy is what it's called.
That's how you pronounce it? Hypergamy?
Yeah, hypergamy.
Yeah, hypergamy.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna be in the comment section just like, no, it's hypergamy. Like some shit like that. Nah, yeah.
And what's the definition?
Oh, okay. Webster's definition. My fault. I went back. The action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background. So like if you got a GED and you fuck a girl who go to college, you technically you marrying somebody. Wow, son. Like so if your girl make more money than you technically in hypergamy. Like that's just technically. There's a lot of niggas I know in hypergamy right now, son. Niggas struggle, son. Like
it's real. Like,
yeah, man.
People talk about 50-50.
Yeah, that ain't no 50-50 right there. That's her paying for everything.
You worry about a 50-50?
That's crazy.
She want it all.
That's crazy. I hate the 50-50 conversation to begin
Let's
with.
talk about that.
You could go ahead. Is that what you want to? Just a 50-50?
No,
I just hate it. I hate it because like social media makes like they ask the same stupid ass questions all the time, and so they'll be online like always be somebody's stupid ass podcast, and there'll be like five people on there as a relationship podcast, none of them in a relationship. Like one was married in like 95 and shit, and they always got like their hair like it's some crazy like hairstyle. They always talking in front of a crowd or to a brick wall or some shit like that. And like they always ask like, well, is 50-50 wrong? It's like, yo, everybody relationship is unique to them. Like it's unique to your social standards, your economical standards, your upbringing. If that works for you, cool. If it don't, then just shut the fuck up. Like I don't get it. Like everybody, like we live in a day and age where everybody feel like everybody got to agree with everything that we all do. And it's like, I just remembered when I was okay with just being weird and then not caring if nobody gave a fuck if I was weird. It just was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never asked niggas like, did I like anime. I never was like, does the world like that? Like, no, I just turned on Dragon Ball Z at 5:00 for Toonami, bro. That's all I needed to do. That was it. The 50-50 though, I just feel like so many people like. It's so funny because nowadays we're like, we don't want traditional standards. We're like, oh, we don't want traditional standards. But then they still fall back into like people who say that they don't want their partners to split it 50-50 or something like that. But then they go like, I want you to be able to pay for everything. And it's like, hold up. Like my parents lived a 50-50 lifestyle. Like my father was a musician. He ended up owning a record company. At times, he was 100% the breadwinner in our house. But my mother worked. She was a hairdresser for a long time, and then she also owned a bunch of different shops. She majority of the time paid majority of the bills, and she still was, you know, they split it 50-50, however that situation went. But like, I never, in my household, my dad still was the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he still is the man. Oh, am I looking very fat? Uh, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, somebody gonna be like, yo, he pandering. It's not at all. I just love black women. This is all it is. Not in a pandering way, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, like my parents, they did what they had to do. My mom still went home and cooked for us and did the whole entire thing. And my mom still now, she runs her own business now, like travels the world and stuff like that. They both divorced now, but they both on their own separate plane. But it worked out for them for years, for them to be able to do it 50-50 and to be that type of way. So it worked out for them. But for now, I just feel like people keep having these stupid ass conversations, especially on Twitter. I don't know why. They're just like, I'm not having no man go 50-50 with me, or some dude just like, you ain't really a man if your girl going 50-50 with you. It's just like, bro, like, why don't you just worry about your life? You just, you know what I'm saying? You just worry about your shit. That's all you got to do. That's it. It's just so stupid. Where were we? What were we talking? We were talking about, I just don't even remember the subject we were talking about anymore.
First we went into polygamy and polyamory, then we went into hypergamy.
Yeah.
And then
we started talking about like podcasts and it was a podcast or something. We said it was like people, red pill community, and the people who are, yeah. I like I was saying up top, like I grew up pro-black, and my parents taught me to admire being black, and not just the negative things of being black, like just like, you know, like, oh, I'm hood, I'm that. Like our lineage is much deeper than whatever neighborhood you from from whatever, and whatever murder rate that people like to claim is hella black, which isn't at all. So like whenever I hear people talk about anything negative about our community, not that some things, there's negative things that happen in our community and we should be able to highlight that amongst ourselves, but not for clicks. It shouldn't be that like all niggas ain't shit. It's just like, and I was explaining the example of how, like, I have 4 siblings, three brothers. All 3 of us are completely different than each other. One of my brothers, he's my oldest brother. His name is Yadel. He's in prison, and we all lived in the same house. You know, my brother Early, he's a business owner, and my younger brother, he does run a business, but he's a director. And so all 4 of us are completely different, live completely different lives, don't even like the same type of women, just in general. My brother Early, like my brother Dell, loves like a woman he can manipulate. My brother Early likes a woman that that is just like a lighter skinned woman with a big butt. Like that's him, you know? For me, I like a dark skinned woman. I'm more attracted to a woman who's chocolate than anything. My brother Malik, he just like what he like. I don't even know how to explain this nigga, to be honest. Oh yeah, that's fire. But yeah, Malik has got his own thing. Each one of us is completely different. So there's no. That's why I feel like whenever people say like all men is something, it's just like no all man or no all woman can't be anything. You know, like we can't be everything. We can't be the worst of the worst. And like that's just my thought process on that. And when I see red pill community, it is kind of be sad sometimes. Like there's like the very ranging of red pill, from like, you know, the Kevin Samuels, who sometimes was talking some genuine stuff for people who really wanted to sit down and listen. People who just didn't click on a social media ad and be like, oh, he just hates women. It's like, I didn't see that. But like, he had to give reality to some people sometimes. Some people got to understand, like, you can have your preferences and all of that stuff. That's great. But also you got to understand that, like, they going to have their preferences too. And they going to talk their shit just like you talk your shit. But that's why I don't approach, like, when I approach if I approach a black woman, I'm not coming with that type of energy. I ain't coming with like a, oh, you fat bitch or some shit. Like however niggas approach each other nowadays. I always treat it as if we both are royalty. You know what I'm saying? Like I approach you, it's gonna be in that type of manner, that type of fashion. I ain't gonna come at you like, just like you some hood chick or whatever, whatever, like in some disrespectful manner. It was something we were talking about earlier. I was trying to think about what what we were saying. I can't remember now. But it was something, it was I hate when I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's another dating thing that you feel like? So you just re-ask the question then I guess.
What do you think of online dating?
I don't like online dating because it makes people become more superficial than and I feel like that's like one of the biggest problems in dating as well. It's just that like we become too superficial and we become I heard of somebody say this one time, like uh everybody wants to be I'm hollering. Everybody wants to basically be an influencer. So everybody lives their lives like it's a commercial, like it's an influencer commercial. So they're like, everything is like kind of like that, but they don't understand like the things that keep people around is personality, their genuineness, them being a good person. I don't want to be around an Instagram ad all day. Like it's cool, you can be fine, and that's great, but you got to have more substance. I ain't nobody trying to be able to find dumbass person. Like nobody. You just be like, you'll be just going out to eat, be like, so how was your day? Oh yes, I shot 30 TikToks. You're like, this stupid bitch about here, bro. Or some dude that's like that. It's like, come on, like just because you light skinned don't mean you can't pick up a book. You know what I'm saying? Just because you 6'4" don't mean you can't have, a larger vocabulary or something, like that's basically that. But like, I don't know. I just feel online dating is just so weird. It takes out sometimes like the swagger too. Cause you like, if I'm a good looking dude, I'll go online because I know I'm gonna be able to clap a joint, something like that. But like, for me at least, especially like when I'm in like a bar or a club setting or something like that, I'm there hunting. I'm like, not like in some people are gonna think that this is gonna be misogynistic or something like that, but not like if I see a woman that I like, I want to talk to, I'm gonna go and talk to her. And like a part of it is, seeing if I can be able to strike up a conversation with an interesting woman that I possibly could be able to date, or if sometimes it's just if I don't want to date her, if I'm just see if I can have sex with her, or if I can do something different. So that can go down that lane, but it's just like online dating. It kind of like takes out the people element of it. Sometimes you'll end up trying to shoot your shot at a girl at a bar, and you realize like this ain't the girl I'm trying to date, and I don't want to even have sex with her. But she was cool. We probably kick it, like go to a movie or something, or whatever. Yeah.
I want to explore that whole hunter thing. I've heard that before, but I didn't hear from a male. I heard it from my sister.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dave Chappelle said that men are the hunters. Right?
Yeah. I believe that.
From what my sister would say, like with the hunting, I have this thing where I'm saying that men are not hunting anymore, but women want to be chased.
Yeah, they want to be hunted.
And I have the chase logo.
I'm hollering.
Like, men forget to do this.
Yeah.
So women want this chase.
True. I mean, it's difficult because like, when you yell out like I don't want, like people will say like I don't want dudes catcalling me on the street, and it's like I get it. It's just like you don't want no one to be harassed while they're going to the car, while they're going home, or be followed by some creepy ass dude. And I really I always support all black women getting home safe and sound and all of that, but it also does stop the regular dude from just being like, yo, it's like how you like I just like genuine like there's something about timing and seeing somebody on the street and you're just like, I can't let this pass me by. I gotta say something to this woman. You know what I'm saying? Like in that moment, that you got to go through a thousand of those moments of you just shooting your shot on the street that, hey, yo, ma, like she'd walk by, you just wasn't fast enough for this one or for that. But then you find that one girl that you see on the street and you just like, what's up? And she like, what's up? And then you just, I end up having 2 kids. And, and y'all live in the Bronx. And I'm playing, I'm joking. Something like that. Yeah, now I'm hollering, not Cosby. But I just feel like that's kind of how that goes. Like it should be, like sometimes we clip the aspect of a dude wanting to go out and pursue a woman, and that's like what women like when a dude pursue them. I've seen women say online, which like I hear a lot. They'll be like, oh, like dudes aren't as romantic as like previous generations, or the glorification of romanticism as it used to be. But I don't know. I just feel like now, like now I feel like you can be romantic, like you can try to be romantic, but it's also like if I don't even get to that level to the even, back to the social media thing, like if I'm trying to date you online, like how can I really even get to that level of trying to be romantic with you if like, you Instagram ad? It's kind of like, I want to be able to get romantic with somebody, but like it got to be, the right scenario. So, but like it just, I don't know. I feel like we not really, to get the hunter, you got to have it with the proper equipment. You can't just have a dude out there with a knife just saying like, yo, come back with a whale. It just don't work that way. He don't got the proper equipment to get that, like. So right now he just hunting crickets in like in the pond or whatever, pull up, he just taking, but it's just weird. I don't know. It's weird that you said your sister said she was the hunter. That's genuine.
She was stating that men are the hunter.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that she. I know. I mean, I know this. I know there's a lot more women now that be shooting their shots. Like they be, yeah, like doing stand up, man. You get it. You get it all. You get it all. Sometimes you'll be like, especially a woman who's like already been married before. They just know they ain't got time to be playing. They be like, oh, this nigga look like he a good dude. Like they shoot they shot at you. You be coming up stage. You want to be knowing this bitch got like nacho cheese on her face and shit. She running right at you. You be like, how you doing? All right, yeah. Like, just,
when women come up to you and want to get your number and stuff.
I don't mind, but I don't mind that if a woman is interested, that's cool. But I don't want a woman to book me. It's a DC term. We call it booking. Like when I get your number or something like that, get your Instagram or whatever, I don't want a woman to book me. If she get my Instagram, that's cool. But like you cannot be like, oh, I want to take you out on Thursday. Like, give me your number. Hell no. It's all break. I'm like, because I'm
explain what booking means.
Booking is the court. It's courting. It's like kind of like when like if I see a woman across the bar, I go there. Once you put that number in that phone book or whatever, it's the booking. It's kind of like that. It's like it's a term. Yeah, I've seen it said in a lot of different places. I just always kept that term in my whole life. So it's just like I'm like, yeah, I'm about to book that. So I'm like, oh, whatever. Anyway, I've never had to explain that to anybody. I just want to let you know.
Automatically know what it means.
People know, like, yeah, I'm booking. I'm like, they just know. But maybe also like I grew up like in New York, but also in Maryland. So like I kind of just, it's a mixture of a lot of different, terms and stuff. And I also lived in Georgia for a long time. So yeah. But yeah, I just feel like I don't want a woman to be that aggressive. I feel like it should, like, I think you can definitely make it easy for me to be able to like get that number. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time I went to, because I'm like a shy person initially, especially I'm like like people see you do stand up or they see us in this setting and they would think like, oh, he's an outgoing person, more like an introvert for real. And so I was at this bar one time. I was talking to this girl, and like everything was good. Actually, no, scratch that. I'm in McDonald's one time in high school. And this is like where the first time I ever like recognized this happening. Is this girl, had a genuine natural situation. Like she's ordering the chicken nuggets. The dude like gives her something wrong. And I like made like 2 quick jokes, like just bang, bang. She turned around, she's just bust out laughing. She starts talking to me. And I'm like, all right, cool. I can feel like I could ask for this number. A different girl that went to my high school came in. It was like, Ish, what's up? Like, gave me a hug, and it felt like the moment passed by. And instead of me, like, being like the hunter, just like, I'm gonna go and get it, I let my like subconscious mind like go by. I went over to say like bye. She kind of gave me like a look, like, all right, bye. And then as I was like walking away, she was like, so you ain't gonna get my number? And I was like, and it's kind of like she kind of round the way got me to get her number. She was expecting that, and I was just being a bitch ass nigga at the time. But yeah, that's like it. Kind of like that happens sometimes too. But like that, I just feel like for me, I don't want a woman to be booking me. I don't want her to be like, nigga, give me your number. Yeah, I'm gonna pick you up at 8. Like, nah, that's not happening for me, fam. It's cool. Now, when it come down to sex, I'm all for that. I want her to be as clear as possible. Like, we gonna go upstairs, you gonna fuck the shit out of me. I'm gonna make some food. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me take off this. Yes, ma'am. What time you need me to be there? 9 o'clock. Shut up. Yeah. Let me go in there and clap this thing up. Anyway. Yeah.
To piggyback on that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to somebody like a male introvert?
Mm-hmm.
How do they get out of their comfort zone with dating?
So I'm not an expert. So I want people to know, whoever is looking at this, I'm damn sure not an expert. I would say, and like when you, how far into dating we talking? Like the initial, like just trying to talk to a woman?
Start of it, yeah.
Oh, man, I know for me, I try to be as calm as possible whenever I'm talking to a woman. Like whenever I'm talking to a woman, I try not to even like get myself like in my head. I'm coming with a compliment. And then after a compliment, I'm just trying to see where this conversation goes. I'm just feeling the energy. If her energy is like more accepting of like, yeah, I want to continue to keep talking to you or whatever, then I'm with it. But if not, I'm like, as soon as I say something and I feel like I'm bothering you, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So then now that's really on the woman from there. But like once I start the initial conversation, I'm like either giving, like my brother said this to me, my brother who's man whore. He said this to me. He was like, you got to give 3 compliments, and then you try the kiss factor whenever you're talking to a woman. So it's like, keep it simple, stupid. Like just keep it short and simple is really what the real thing is. Keep it short and simple. Like if you walk up to a woman, if you're really nervous, you can use the nervousness to your advantage. If you genuinely just nervous. Some women don't like that though. Some women don't like that they feel like a man is insecure or something like that. But if you're an introvert, you know, sometimes you just got to take your L's where you take your L's. It'll work for some people, it won't work for others. And so sometimes I'm like, if I walk up to a woman at a bar and I'm a little nervous, I'm like, look, man, I just saw you across the bar. The old, I don't really do this that much. That shit always works. It always works. It's just like, yo, I thought you were cute. I would love to be able to take you out on Thursday. Can I get your number? Sometimes you'll get a woman who'll be like, no, I'm good. And then you just walk away. But you just say, thank you, I appreciate it, I still think you're beautiful, and you just walk away. Then that's that. But sometimes a woman will just be like, oh, I do look good. Okay. Like she might be an outgoing person. A more outgoing woman will like definitely, especially a grown woman, will definitely at least entertain you for at least a good 5 or 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? After that. But I feel like as an introvert, you gotta break that whole like, I don't want to say break that, but you gotta at least be still the hunter. You still gotta be going after it. You can't like, just because you're an introvert don't mean that you need to be online. You know, like you gotta go to some social event to be able to find somebody in person. I just feel like online dating just really isn't the answer, especially for a dude. And like if you a dude who's an introvert, I would say hang with an extrovert. I used to like the 90% of like my cousin Isaiah was one of them type of like, you're loud, yo, my boy, like, yo, how you don't know who like my man, like that type of nigga. And like I would hang with him. And I'm like, I guess you would call it an omnivert. I feel more introverted though than I am. If I'm comfortable, I can be a little bit more open. But if I'm not, I'm just like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm just quiet, you know. But like he would be the loud nigga. So once he'd be loud, like women would come around him and talk to him, or if he was like, or if he would go talk to a girl at a bar, like I would just talk to the other girl, and like that always ended up working for me. Especially if you're not great at that, you just need to be. But if you want to be able to conquer your fears and all of that, you just better, you know, also meet people in places where it worked for you too. If you're an introvert, like you at a library, just like, hey, how you doing? You in college? If you're a grown up, you know, go to a meeting, go to a meetup. Just everybody's already walking around saying hello to people already, so it's like, cool. Go to a place where it works to your advantage. You know, like I don't know where quiet niggas could get women like at all, but I don't know, but like there's a lot of places you could go to. Like uh I honestly feel like the best places to go is like any kickback or social gathering of that type of thing. Like in the summertime, every time it's a cookout, somebody always bring their friend or somebody like that. Like that's the girl you go shoot your shot at. Like that girl that they bring their friend. Or like I'm in entertainment, so like sometimes if I have an event, like it's just a bunch of women that just, you know, I know through just association. So like you see one of them at a cookout, just like, oh, what you do? That's it. And then from there, let the conversation take hold, and just don't be a bitch when it's time to wrap it up, man. To like keep it short and simple. Just, hey man, I really find our conversation interesting. Let's meet up and get some drinks. Like anything to get the number. And just don't lie. That's the only thing. Just don't lie. Don't be like, yeah, I'm an astronaut, and you work at Walmart, you know, like, or you work at the bodega, you know. So that's that. But I would say if you're an introvert in a relationship, like I feel further along if you're like trying to like find yourself, if you're trying to open up yourself a little bit more, you gotta kind of like do shit that make you feel. I feel always anything for me makes anything that makes me feel comfortable is easier for me to be able to open up for whatever. So if I, especially like what we were saying earlier, I like anime. So like if I'm in an anime convention, I feel like it's the easiest time. Those be the most introverted women that you ever run into. There's a lot of extroverted women that go to anime conventions too, but like they just be in some nice little outfit, and you walk over, like even if it's not even an outfit, even if they're in some crazy, even if a woman's dressed up as Kakashi Sensei, like you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you just walk over and it's like, man, I love Naruto. You love Naruto? Yeah, let me get your Instagram. I'm talk about it. Let me shoot you a message. Like the Instagram is the least of your worries. You at least slide in the DMs or something. Just, you know, do something. But you gotta be fearless in that regard, you know. And I feel like no matter how introverted you are to the person, you're socially awkward, you could use your social awkwardness to your advantage, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you just got to get out. People got to get out there. We have to stop letting these devices and these barriers keeping us from being present in places and things. All right.
I would also go into the slide of
Uh-huh.
fear of rejection
Mm-hmm.
with going into being introverted. Does that have like some type of like? Does that connect with each other?
I think so. I think so. But I always look at it like whenever I'm afraid to do something, on the other side of fear is a better success, like a bigger success. So like I'll be afraid to talk to a woman like a really fine ass woman sometimes too, just because I just don't want her to put me down disrespectfully or in an embarrassing way. I can take a no, especially now. You're a man, you're a grown man. You kind of you used to know already. But like if it's in a disrespectful manner, I just don't want to be disrespected in that regard. Like I don't want to be like, no, you ugly ass nigga, get the fuck out of here. Like I don't want that, you know. But I would if a woman's just like, I'm just not interested, you know, thank you. Like I'm a respectful dude. I'm gonna just be like, all right, cool, appreciate it. But like that's all right. I can take that. But I just don't want to be like, look at this ugly ass nigga trying to talk to me at this bar. Like that's where you like, yo, why you gotta go that hard? You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta go that hard. Like it just like, so I mean, but some nowadays just some people don't want certain things to get mixed up. Also, like if you don't make your move, you'll just eventually end up in a friend zone, which is the worst thing for an introverted dude, because you'll just be years of like, I really liked her, but like, but now you're watching some other dude clap a girl up that you wanted to be able to be in a relationship with, and you be fumbling the bag like that. Just yeah, that's sad, but yeah. So just in a relationship topic in general.
Well, the main thing is, what do you think of being single?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think it's okay? Like, is it really, is there a really happy ever after? Can people be alone and it not be a big deal?
I don't think you can be alone forever. I don't think I don't think no being on this planet in general is meant to be alone. You'll watch like 12 flies fuck around and have a bunch of babies together, and you'll see a lion with like a bunch of different, lioness and shit like that. I feel like there's no being that's just so fully me. Even seahorses, as simple as them. So I feel like no being is meant to be alone completely 100%. So I feel like but I also don't think that your happiness has to be dependent on somebody else. Like your happiness should come with you and things of that sort. And you should want to be in a relationship for the exact right reasons. Like some people get into them for the worst ones. Like I need help with bills, so I want this dude here just so he can help me with bills. And you don't even like the dude. You're just there like, oh yeah, this dude pays my rent. That's great. It's like, nah, like I always also like I also feel like that's like a big problem. We were talking about single in relationships, and I guess we never talked about like why relationships don't work. I feel like that is one of the main reasons is that we put everything above character, especially as both of us being people of color. We put everything over character, and none of it. Like anytime I ever hear people say like you want a fine ass person, no matter who it is, you want the baddest motherfucker you could possibly get. You know what I'm saying? And that goes without saying. But right behind that should be a person of character. It should be like I want a woman who's when she says she gonna do something, she gonna do it. Like because the person with character won't cheat on you. The person with character won't fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I won't put you in a position where you are gonna fuck me over, because you have such a good character. But like, I feel like when we have those conversations, especially modernly, we like the only thing they care about is, oh, he gotta have money. And it's like, that's great. Money is great. But like, we got a lot of idiots with money. We got a lot of people who will do anything for money. Like, we see these P. Diddy parties that people are talking about with like people saying like, dude offering them $50 million to have sex with them. Like, that's not the way that I want to be able to get the bag. That's not the way that I want my family to know that I got my money. Like, I would feel ashamed as a man if I was if I was laying up with a woman and I knew that I had to suck a man's dick to make money. Like, I'd be like, bruh. So like the character is like the number one thing for me, at least. Like character is almost more important than if a woman looking good. No, I don't want to say almost. It is more important than a woman looking good. Because like you could be with an ugly ass woman who treats you very nice and has very high character, and you can be able to accept the fact that she ugly and be able to move across. And I know some people would say that that's called settling, but like, hey man, for a man, the most important thing is peace. It's not about anything else. It's about peace, because you live a chaotic life. Your life is chaotic. You're born. You run around. There's a lot of noise. When you come home, you don't like any person. You want to be in a peaceful ass environment. You just want nothing to be. You don't want nothing to be wrong. You don't want nothing to be said. Not every day is going to be like that, but that's the accomplished goal. When you watch people when they be old, they just be sitting on a porch, peaceful, just rocking on a porch, just talking shit to each other, and that's it, you know? Like, so that's kind of like the end goal should be like being peaceful, being comfortable, being, you know, secure, and that should be what it is. We said we were talking about something earlier, and now I can't remember where what your initial thing was. We were saying
About
uh, yeah.
well, when I was asking in that premise of like, is it
Oh, a happily ever after you were saying, but I do believe happily ever after is achievable, whether it's in multiple person relationships or it's in like a one individual person. You know, you can find a soulmate and live together. I feel like more people are going down the polyamory, polygamy route. I feel like more, um, you know, but it's to each its own. It's to each its own. I feel like some people feel like they can be in that relationship where, you know, they can be with multiple partners and be in love with all of them, and that's great. And some people feel like, you know, I got this one person and I'm rocking with this person for forever. I feel like it's just become more difficult because we live such a digital life now. Like the digital life is almost more important than the regular life now for most people. You know, I wouldn't say for me it's the most important, but like people really care about how they're perceived in that digital realm on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. And it's unfortunate. It's exactly like what the whole next dating wave is going to be. Like these kids who are in high school now, going to be going into college. Basically, their whole entire life has been on social media. Like it just sounds crazy to even think about. Because I remember in 2007 when Facebook first even came about, or in like 2004, 5, and 6 when MySpace was there. Like there's people who were born in 2004 right now, like 2005, and they whole life has been like, you know, with an iPad and a phone, and they don't live our life where we went outside and rode bikes and did shit, you know, and did real shit, you know. So I feel for them because they're gonna be the ones who really gotta they're gonna be the ones that really have to deal with a real introvert. Like I'm not as introverted as them kids. Like them kids really gonna be like that. Those women are gonna have the roughest time, where like they're gonna be like. I feel like the funny thing is that like older women, like women in like my age group who like probably want to have a younger man or probably like you got it out of a relationship or whatever, they will be scooping up them young niggas because the girls who's younger aren't gonna know what to say to them dudes or whatever, and an older woman will always know the right thing to say to a dude that's 21 and they're just like, oh, I just watch anime. She's like, oh, you do? Come on to this crib, watch Attack on Titan and blow my back out. Like she'll always say the right shit. Like she'll always be like, yeah, pull up, yeah. Oh, Aaron was right. You're right. Like just take off her bra and have this nigga like sucking on the titty. He's just happy as hell. Like,
okay? So since you talked about that,
yeah.
what do you think of the whole concept of what's it called? Mama boys.
Mm?
Like it doesn't connect. But I'm just saying, what do you think?
Like
what's your,
like mama's boys?
yeah, what's it, like what do you
Oh, what do you mean? Like you like meaning like just a dude who loves his mother?
No, like
Not in love. Like I'm saying, like he's like
like
a.
he loves his mom, but it comes off as like I don't know how to
You're talking about when like the mom like replaces their husband with the son
yes
type of thing.
that
I think that's sad. I think that's a sad existence to be in. I know dudes like that. And yeah, man, it ain't no way to live. I'm very close with my mother, but um, I didn't really grow as a man until I was like, I lived at home, of course, as a kid, like everybody else, but like, I didn't really grow as a man until like my early 20s, and when I stopped like really being like such a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? Like I really started to become my own man and understand man principles and stuff like that. Like there's nothing wrong with like loving your mother and like wanting the best for your mother. Like I'm not saying anything like that, but like nah, man, you still gotta be a man. Like at the end of the day, and like, oh yeah, no, I mean, but it's. I don't want to like seem like I'm blaming single mothers or any single mom out there that has had to cope with raising a child on their own. It's not a natural situation, but it's, it stems from that type of thing. From like, I was blessed that I had two parents, and both I lived with my parents, as a kid, most of my until like about my teenage years, basically. And like, I just feel like that's just, it becomes like a manipulative thing, like a mom manipulating the son, like you're gonna leave me. Like I've seen it firsthand, and it's just sad because like you have to get over that in order to reestablish yourself with a lady. And also it brings like an inferiority at complex when you dating a woman. Like you're really damaging. If you're a woman that's out there and you're doing that to your child, I know you're not gonna give a fuck about a dude on the couch, as a comic on the couch, but like you really doing a disservice to your son, like to not have a healthy relationship with a woman, like not knowing how to be able to say no to a woman, or to like be able to have their own like identity outside of you, and stuff. Like, because my mother used to always say like, she was her job was to prepare me to be like a man in the world in general. My father main purpose was like, I'm not going to be here. I need to know that you can make good sound decisions on your own without anybody's input at all, that you could be able to like live on your own as your own man. And both of my parents did great jobs at that. I was able to make be a functioning adult and be like, nah, this bitch ain't for me, or whatever, like whatever situation. Like I feel like if a chick tries to manipulate me into something that I really am not comfortable with, I'm willing to be like, nah, I'm good, and also be able to walk away from it. Some dudes just aren't, or their mom makes their relationship real difficult because in that type of regard, which is just sad. It's just more sad for them. But uh yeah, I don't know how you could build a family. I don't know how you could build a family where your mom is just like your mom is like for like it's funny because I have a friend. He has about like five kids, right? His oldest son is about like 13, so he had his son when he was 19. His son is 13. And because his mother was kind of like in that similar situation, his son respects his mother's word over his. And in my household, like my parents' word was everything. Like nothing was more important than what my mother said or my father. Really, what my father said was more. I didn't. I like not saying like my mother told me to do something, I was doing it regardless. My mother was a disciplinarian, but my father, like when he said something, it was law. Like it was just law. Everybody in the house understood like it was law. And like there was no, my mother never challenged my father in front of me ever. Like if they would do it behind closed doors, because they were a very tight knit unit, especially when it came to like rearing us. But like, man, I couldn't even imagine if my grandmother said something and then my mother was like, if my grandmother said something, or if my mother said something to my child, and then if I said that to my child and my mother said something and then they just went with what my mother said, I would be fucking livid. I mean, just beating everybody, just like fucking. So, but yeah, nah, I feel it's sad. You're just setting that son up for a world of pain, because when you go, it's like he ain't gonna have nobody, no woman. You the woman is gone, and you didn't live a happy life abusing your son to a degree. But like, damn. Or like the flip side of it, whatever. Like, I don't really see too many single dads being like, I'm the man in this relationship, and all of that. But it does happen, and that's also a sad thing too. So yeah, it's nasty business. So everybody, like, she was talking about happily ever afters and like Disney fantasies of like putting in our head that happily ever afters happen. People have to understand that those films are fantasy films. So they're meant to make you feel good about life, and it's a story and it's great and it can be somebody's life. 90% of people, it will not be our lives. And like you have to understand that like nothing in life works out to your plan and your design. It's you can be married by 30 or 35, and if you're not, that's perfectly fine. I feel like it's better to date, in my opinion, in your 30s because you actually honestly understand who you are more as a person. Like in my 20s, you change so much year to year. Like your fucking clothes ain't even different from. I mean, I became 20 in 2010. So like in 2010, by 2013, I was wearing completely different clothes. I was not even the same dude. I wouldn't even like. I wouldn't even like. I didn't even like. I went from one year like I was just like all I was just about was just like making some sort of money or something like that to the next year I was just like, man, I need to get stock. I need to start like investing. And then the next year after that, I was just like, man, fuck the system. It was just like, like it was you're just growing so much. So like people who believe that like in your 20s you need to be married and have kids and all of that other shit, that shit sounds good for selling a movie and for selling love to romantics. But like in your 30s, I feel like you have more money. And I know that we're millennials for most people who are 30, so we're probably hella broke. Uh, thank you, baby boomers. But like, it's nothing wrong with you being single and still out there finding love. But just I feel like the happy aspect should be you trying to find love for the right reasons. You trying to find love for the reasons that suits you best, like your happiness, not for anything else. If that man don't make you happy, then don't try to be in a relationship just because you're tired of being lonely. Like that's the worst. That's the worst. That's when you end up with a motherfucker who just be beating you, but he got good dick. Or something like, or a girl or a woman who's just like, she's hella manipulative, but she suck your dick the way you want. So you're like, but I love her. You don't. You just lust it. You want to make sure you're in a relationship for the exact reason. And it's easier said than done because it's hard to walk away from a woman who gray head. It's just hard to walk away.
Are those the ones in the relationship? Or those are the ones that's the side pieces?
I mean, I feel like it's a lot of that. There's a lot. There's some woman who's in a relationship right now, sucking her man off right now while we doing this interview.
Why do you think it's cheating?
I'm hollering. I feel like people cheat for different reasons, just in general. Like people cheat because insecurities. Uh, I feel the majority of the reason people cheat is a them thing than anything that a partner do. Because you could be the perfect partner for the wrong person and they will cheat every time. And it don't matter about you, whether how good your head game is, how good you lay down dick, how tall you is, how if they like a fat dude, if they like a chubby dude, it don't matter what it is. It's more about them than it is about you. And so that I feel like that's that. But yeah, man, like whew, you don't wanna end up being in a relationship for the wrong reasons. That's just mainly it. My pops told me a long time ago, man. When you get into a relationship with a woman, you want to make sure you getting into a relationship with the right woman. You just be as picky as possible. Not too picky, but like, because sometimes you'll pass up a really good dude thinking that like a really good dude that makes you happy because you're worried about shit that ain't got nothing to do. If you find a really good person that you genuinely are attracted to and you're happy with, fucking end up settling down with them and seeing how that relationship goes. Don't be out here just like, oh well, this nigga ain't got 100,000 followers or he don't make 6 figures. Like nobody makes. I don't want to say nobody, but a lot of people don't make 6 figures. And more people are now doing it because of um it's so many new fields opening up where like tech and things like that. But come on, man, you meet people where they at, not where you know. Like I hate when people be like, I want a dude to already have millions of dollars. It's just like, all right, bro, all right. If he does have it, it's just kind of like you think he about to just blow all of this bread on you. It's just like I you're better off meeting a dude who don't have any bread and y'all building and making y'all bread together. Y'all could be able to be a lot more happier long term than a dude who already has it. I don't know if you've ever ran across a person who makes just $100,000 a year. The motherfuckers are insane, crazy. That's just $100,000. I couldn't even imagine talking to a nigga who was a millionaire. Just like I mean, not even talking to a people who's a millionaire, but like a billionaire. Forget about it. That's why these niggas always be mining the ocean and fucking and submarines that don't work. And just and just doing stupid shit. I'm just gonna fly into space for what? I don't know. It's just I want to blow $100 million. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, bro. Like every time, like the coolest people you gonna meet is them niggas. It's that dude that's broke at Rite Aid that you walk inside and this nigga got a joke every time you see him and you kind of attracted to them. That's the nigga you need to be shooting your shot at. Not saying to lay your shit down by the side, like you like lay your standards down by the side, but like sometimes you just got to see somebody and be like, well, I like this motherfucker. This is cool. I'm gonna talk to them, and you'll be able to build. You'll be able to build. I don't want to say like, and I've seen people online say about, I don't want to build a man or I don't want to build a woman. It's kind of like, it's not that. I'm saying if you see somebody that you like nowadays, life is so short, and we only got 5 years left anyway on global warming. So yeah, they're wild. They wild. Whole nother topic, whole nother podcast for that. Whole nother podcast for that. Whole nother interview for that. But yeah, the whole key is, man, just make sure you find a person for your reasons. I feel like that'd be a good place to end right there. Yeah. I'm Ishmael Gainer.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all.
Hi, everyone. This is my Uncle Kevin. I'm going to be asking him some questions about his relationship with my aunt. So how long have you been with my aunt Ethel?
Amira? Girl, I've been down with your auntie since 1975. Understand? I met her there where I used to work at. Well, I met her in 1975. I was introduced to her, right, through a friend. And it was one of those things, back then, how you say, your friend got a girlfriend, you want your friend's girlfriend to introduce you to your girlfriend, that type of flow. Mm-hmm. But I would say it worked out very good on my behalf. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I've been down with her for 75 and I don't miss nothing. No joke. No joke.
So, how did you and Auntie Ethel meet?
Ooh, man. you gonna take me, I'm gonna take you way back, and please excuse the pause, because I want to get it right.
That's okay.
Ooh, used to work for McDonald's on 39th Street and 2nd Avenue, me and my cousin. Right, my cousin was dating this young lady by the name of Elnora. So, of course, Elnora comes down to see my cousin. So, me, got a girlfriend, that's what we used to do.
Right.
She said, yeah, but she was skeptical, though. But when she got around to it, she introduced me to a girlfriend. And I ain't gonna get crazy and things like that, but it had me choked up because I never knew you get a lot of people brought into your life and things like that, and you think it's all gander, think it's good until you see otherwise. But when I was introduced to Ethelina, how you say, it broke all that. You know what I mean? For the first time, I was able to, how you say, I met somebody just as fine as me.
It's so
You know what I'm
cute.
saying? You know, and when we started dating, it was crazy and short, right? Because she had her flow going and I had mine. You understand? So with that being said, recognize, you know, we was like we were. But it was just one day, I popped up out the train station, 110th Street train station. I popped up, and as I coming up the stairs, I see this young lady crossing the street, and I mean, no disrespect. Damn. But then I started recognizing the walk. So I screamed out her name. She stopped in the middle of the street. I was like, whoa. So I walked her back to the building, asked her how she was doing, things like that. And I never got past the first steps of the building. Never got past those first steps. But it was good though. And as time went on, how you say, from that moment, I was able to get past those steps. When I got past the steps, I got to meet everybody. You understand? And my life started changing. I ain't gonna get crazy. My life started changing. It was changing for the good as far as I was concerned, because it was for the good. She showed me things. We conversed. We talked a hell of a lot about everything. Lean, today, being married for as long as we have, she's more than just my damn wife. Confident. She my lawyer. And I mean that in every damn aspect. You understand? She knows who I am, what I'm made of. She knows me. And if that's I guess a testament to all relationships prior to, I guess she was able to get something that everybody else couldn't. And I don't say that in a bad way. What it is, as far as I'm concerned. You understand? Now, if you speak to others, you know, they have their caption of it and things like that. And she was the one. I knew it when I met her. I knew it when I saw her. Hell, I knew it when I kissed her. You know, things like that, Rebel. You hear stories about first look. Some people just can't get with that. They want to put a whole lot of adjectives and everything else with it. But real, heart don't tell no lies. The heart don't tell no lies, and the eyes don't. And what you see, and what you feel, if that's like this, then that's what it is, be it good or bad. And when I met Lean, it was good. It was all good. She was there when I felt at a time nobody else wasn't. You understand? And that meant a lot to me at that time. Everything else coming, you have a lot of people come into your life and they say they want to do this with you. They wish they can do that with you. If they can do this with you. And if all talk is good, but if the feeling ain't there, if it's not felt internally, truthfully, everything else will be washed and you see it washed. With me and Lena, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. I knew it. I knew it.
You answered my third question. How did you know she was the one? So
see, I think again, our conversations were so. At times, I would, if I can use the word intense, but I use immense. What I mean by that is, it captured everything, and depending on how you felt about it, how you say, I was, excuse me, I'm getting ready to say it may sound crazy, but I felt good I felt good in the way I defined how I felt, be it good, be it bad. Some people can't, how you say, can't take the truthfulness. Lord knows how it might be expressed. Some people express their ways physically, if I can use the word conservatively. I'm the type of person, I went to school, I got my education, I know how to speak, I know how to carry myself. With all that being said, I know conversations will bring you into everything. Conversations will enlighten you so much if you know what you're talking about. With that being said, if you know what you're talking about and if you can take it all in without hate, it makes it that much better. I was raised like that. Lean brings that out in me. There's a lot of things that she do for me that to even think about considering somebody else be damn nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't get that in a night, in a week, 2 weeks, in a month, 3 months. You get that over time. And that time is commitment. You do that, you're doing yourself just that right. Because you know this is it. She know this is it. When you get in it, you got it. You know, and I feel I do. Then you come across, bless me with my daughter. Can't get no better than that. You know.
yeah,
You know I was there with you. You know. See, I ain't gonna get crazy, but I may be a lot of things, but I have a heart. I have a heart. And I know what's right. I damn sure know it when I see it, let alone when I feel it and everything else. You know what I mean? With all that being said, Lean, when I met her, when I looked in her eyes, when I met Lean and looked in her eyes, it was like, yeah, all right, let's go. Let's go. How you say, excuse my language, no disrespect. Shit over here, we're going this way. You understand? And all that, I'm this way, man. I'm good. I'm good. Sometimes people feel you can lose out on a lot. I ain't lose a damn thing. I ain't lose nothing. What I gained is y'all. And let me tell you, I love the feeling that ain't no damn way I would ever change it. No joke. Sitting where I'm at right now, seeing you, how you saying, going back over the years where it started, you know when I came in at. You know when you first saw me. You probably didn't know a damn thing about me. But we grew. We grew to where we is now. I'm who I am. Love Ed Jordan. Put that out there. Yes, indeed, I do. Ed Jordan, Ed Jordan, Ed Jordan. Right? But, yeah. She's... my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, is Brown Sugar. When a man asked her, when did you fall in love with hip hop? And she said she fell in love with him the first day she saw him. Some folks, that may sound corny. Shit don't exist. But for those who do, for those who had the pleasure of going through it, witnessing it, it's true. That's how it was with me and me. That's how it is now. Hell, that's how it'd be when I go into the ground. I ain't gonna get crazy.
Is that it? I'm sorry. Hi, this is Mira Zaneem, and I'm here with my friend Derek, and we're going to be talking about dating and relationships. So the first question is, do you think marriage is overrated?
Hey y'all, it's me, Derek. Interesting question. Um, I I don't think marriage as I don't think marriage as a tool for love is overrated. I think what might be overrated is the institution of marriage, the technical aspects of marriage, you know, being married just for the sake of being married because you are a certain age, or being married because you have a kid, or, I think that's overrated. But I think two people coming together who truly love each other, who want to become one and combine their lives together is a beautiful thing in any form that it comes in. Um, Whether you're religious or not, who cares? As long as you are happy. So no, I don't think I don't think the love part is overrated, but I think the institution might be.
Okay. So, what is your opinion on online dating?
I love online dating. I think it's one of the most interesting ways that society has created to meet other people. You get to, specifically, people who are really shy, or people who have a lot of anxiety, or people who are depressed, people who are not great in social settings. Everyone's not great at going to a bar and meeting someone. everyone doesn't have the courage to go up to a random person and talk to them. And if I'm being very honest, I know for a fact I know for a fact I've missed a lot of connections because I simply did not approach people that I knew were interested in me. But I think a lot of us have a huge fear of rejection, so we don't do it. So I think online dating is a great way for people to kind of weed out all the BS, weed out all of the people that you don't want to talk to. You get to, pick people according to your preferences. And I know some people think preferences are controversial, but they're human. Everyone has preferences. If you think they're controversial, that's a you issue, not anyone else's. Um, and I think specifically nowadays, where everyone is so busy working and making their dreams happen and life happen, it's just easy to just swipe left or swipe right. And if you want to meet, you meet. If you don't, then that's fine. Keep your eyes on. Hmm. So I feel like the mindset that a lot of black women have, where they would prefer to be left alone altogether and not deal with anyone if they can't have a healthy, loving relationship, is one that was born out of trauma. I think oftentimes we talk about how much trauma the black man has suffered, at the hands of the oppressor, at the hands of black women, at the hands of, I was watching this video with this black man talking to this non-black woman, and he was saying, um, yeah, you know, non-black women, like, y'all don't care about our trauma and blah blah blah. And her response was, okay, cool, then why don't you date black women? If you're saying we don't care about your trauma, then go date people who should care about it. And I think for a lot of black women, they're like, well, hey, yeah, black men have suffered a degree of trauma, and I don't think it's right to discount that. But black women have been the punching bags for society forever, even in their own community. So for a lot of black women, they're like, look, and we all know it. We all have aunts and moms and grandmothers who have been single for 20, 30 years. Like, you know, my mom, and she might hate if she hears this, but she's been single the majority of my life. She's had little boyfriends here or there, but I'm 35. The majority of my life, she's not really been in a long-term relationship. She's had little boyfriends here and there, but nothing serious. And I think for women like her, they're like, look, I have my kids, I have my friends, I have my health, I have my job. I'm going to travel, I'm going to live life. If I want to have some good sex, I'm going to call up someone and have some good sex. But if a black man is not going to do right by me, I'm not going to waste time being in a loveless and toxic relationship just so I can say I have someone. I'd rather just be single. And if that means I'm going to go to you know, go to the other side without being in a romantic relationship, then that's fine. And I'm okay with that.
So, the next question is, what's a misconception that people have about dating as a black man, and also about black men, period?
So I think a misconception that people have about dating as a black man is maybe that, like, it's easy for black men, and I say that because we live in a world where black men are like overly sexualized, and everybody wants the BBC, and all these non-black women and or non-black men, if you're in a queer relationship, are attracted to you and they all want to be with you. And people kind of only see you as a fetish or a prop to. I I think that that's a part of the misconception, but I think in reality, I think a lot of black men are very lonely. I think a lot of black men are very sad. Um, there are these new studies out that show that the newest population, a rising population in nursing homes is single black men. Which doesn't surprise me because if you think about the way a lot of black men, specifically straight black men, live their lives, um, the only way that it's going to end up is you being alone by yourself in a nursing home. And it sounds like a very sad and grim future. But like I said, I think a lot of black men are very lonely and don't have a very good time dating because I feel like there are a lot of black men who don't feel very safe. And because they don't feel safe, they then do things to make other people feel unsafe because that's a defense mechanism. You know, it's also a trauma response. You know, if I don't feel safe, I'm going to make you feel unsafe, you know, because I can control that. I can control making your life hell because I'm insecure. And then I think a misconception that people have in general about black men is that we're somehow a monolith. We all look and act and talk the same. We all want the same things. And I think that if you look at like pop culture, if you look at rappers, if you look at black athletes, if you look, I mean, they all look and act the same, but in reality, I think there's so much nuance in the black male community that I don't think is talked about enough. And I also think a lot of the nuance gets intentionally silenced. Because if you are a different kind of black man, it makes people uncomfortable. If they don't want to deal with you because now they don't know how to, they don't know where to put you at. They don't know what kind of box to put you in. So now you're dangerous to them. And honestly, I just want a world where black men can be free to be everything they are.
Okay, so do you think being in a relationship is important or being single is important in your 20s?
Mm, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. I feel like a part of me wants young people to explore the world and to do what I feel like your 20s are the decade for you to find out who you are, make the mistakes that you can't afford to make in your 30s and 40s because the stakes are higher then. Fall on your face, you know, sleep with too many people, you know, make bad decisions because once you get older, the stakes get higher. Now you might have a family, you might make more money, you might have your own apartment, you might like, you know, I can't just as a 35-year-old wake up and do something reckless because I have bills to pay. I have to keep my apartment. You know, I have a job. I have people who rely on me. I have things that I can't do. Versus in my 20s, I could do those things. I could make a reckless choice. I can just, you know, make up for it. So I feel like if you are in a relationship in your 20s, um, that's great. That's fine. You know, I don't have any negative thoughts about that. However, I don't think you should be forced to be in a relationship when you're young. I know back in the day, all of our parents and our grandparents specifically were married by 21 or hell, even younger, and were in relationships for 20, 30 years. And then you realize that they never got a chance to do anything. They never got a chance to explore anything about themselves. And now they're miserable. So if you're dating, if you're in a relationship, that's fine. I don't have no problems about that. But I think you should enjoy your 20s and make all the mistakes that you can make.
So, if you could give a young adult advice about dating, what would you say?
Are you?
I heard this saying before, happiness is what you make it. And that kind of reminds me of a movie, Joe Dirt. And there's a scene, and home is what you make it. I like to think being single is what you make it. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you appreciated something new that I did as some help. And I appreciate you watching this. If you are interested in some more videos like this, please proceed to, subscribe, like, comment, always share. I appreciate all of that. And look forward to more videos like this or other videos that I have. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I also talk about 1,000 Pound Sisters. I do movie reviews. I do different types of things that I'm interested in, and I hope you're interested in them too. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It looks like a wig, right? It's not. I just had my hair bobby pin, like pin curled. Okay, bye.